Michael Gove has risked inflaming the situation of a British mother imprisoned in Iran by saying that he does not know what she was doing in the country, in contradiction of the government's official position that she was there on holiday. The Environment Secretary's comments on the plight of Nazanin Zaharia-Ratcliffe follow outrage from her family earlier this week after Boris Johnson said she was in Tehran training journalists. The remarks were seized upon by the Iranian state media as a confession and are believed to have left her facing an additional 5 years in prison. Defending the Foreign Secretary on BBC One's Andrew Marr show, Gove was asked what he thought Zaharia-Ratcliffe was doing in Iran when she was arrested. Gove replied, "I don't know. One of the things I want to stress is that there is no reason why she should be in prison in Iran as far as I know." Told by Marr that Zaharia-Ratcliffe's husband, Richard, said she had been there on holiday, Gove said, "I take exactly her husband's assurances in that regard. Her family are the people who should know." Zaharia-Ratcliffe's family have already said Johnson's comments were inaccurate and place her at further risk. Her employers say she had not taken part in the training of journalists. There will be concerns that Gove's remarks before he was corrected by Marr will be interpreted as giving weight to the idea that the British government does not believe she was on holiday. Zaharia-Ratcliffe, a 38-year-old project manager with the Thomson Reuters Foundation, has been in prison since her arrest in Tehran in April last year. On Sunday, Jeremy Corbyn, the Labour leader, wrote in The Observer that Johnson must be sacked immediately for undermining our country and putting our citizens at risk, saying that it was the mishandling of the heartbreaking case of Zaharia-Ratcliffe that persuaded him to call for the Foreign Secretary's dismissal. Richard Ratcliffe had told the BBC on Saturday that Johnson was due to speak to him on Sunday. Gove deflected questions asking whether Johnson should correct his words for the record. The former Education Secretary said if the Iranian judiciary want to use the words of a Democrat in order to justify an unjustifiable decision, then it is our responsibility to call them out. When Marr questioned whether Gove had changed his mind following comments made to the BBC last year that Johnson struggles with executive authority and clarity, Gove said he is doing a great job as Foreign Secretary. John Trickett, the Shadow Cabinet Office Minister, said Gove's comments were designed to protect a fellow minister but had harmed a British citizen's chances of being freed. Boris Johnson's cavalier approach to international diplomacy is compounded this morning by Michael Gove claiming he has no idea what Nazanin Zaharia-Ratcliffe was doing in Iran. "It has always been clear she was on holiday visiting her family." It appears Gove is more interested in protecting Johnson's job than the liberty of a British citizen in jail in Iran. Theresa May must ensure Nazanin Zaharia-Ratcliffe does not pay the price for her minister's bungling. Following Gove's comments, the Free Nazanin campaign tweeted the UK government has no doubt Nazanin was on holiday in Iran. Free Nazanin. Free Nazanin. Foreign Secretary. The UK government has no doubt that Nazanin was on holiday in Iran. Free Nazanin. https://t.cowd11l9mmr November 12, 2017. Pressure has been building on Johnson since he told the Foreign Affairs Select Committee earlier this month that he believed she had been simply teaching people journalism. "As I understand it," Sadiq Khan told Marr that Johnson should resign or be sacked following his long list of gaffes as Foreign Secretary. The London Marr raised questions about Johnson's suitability for the role after renewing calls for an apology and clarification over the minister's remarks. Khan, who succeeded Johnson as London mayor, told Marr, "I think it's important that Boris Johnson clarifies the huge error he made. I'm hoping he clarifies his position, apologises and helps Richard and the family get Nazanin back home in London where she belongs." Asked if he agreed with a suggestion by Corbyn that Johnson must resign, Khan replied, "As your newspaper panel just said, this is the latest in a long list of gaffes made by our Foreign Secretary. He's offended the Libyans in relation to what he said about Sirte being the new Dubai. Should they get rid of the boss?" Quick guide. Boris Johnson referred to Africa as that country in his Conservative Party conference speech. The Foreign Secretary suggested he wished he could tweet like Donald Trump, despite intense criticism of the US president's use of Twitter, on which he has launched personal attacks against his foes. Thank you for your feedback. HE's offended the Americans, saying President Obama is anti-British because HE's Parkinian. HE's offended the Spanish, offended Sikhs with what he said about whiskey tariffs in the Gurdwara and stuff. I think HE's got to go. I think HE's our foreign secretary whose job is diplomacy and representing the best interests of our country, and if Theresa May was a strong prime minister she would have sacked him a long time ago. The Brexit secretary, David Davis, asked if Johnson was unsackable, told Sky News Sunday with Niall Patterson, "Why would you want to sack him? He's a good foreign secretary."